Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name's Freddie Jopoulos and you're watching The Real Freddie G. My first recipe that we're going to be going over today is going to be my spatchcock barbecue chicken along with my twice baked baked potatoes. Both of these recipes are fantastic. They're fun for a family of four. You could obviously stretch this for more people or size it down for one or two. Several of you asked for this dish and I'm very pleased to be baking it for you today. And considering this is my first YouTube video, I hope you guys can all follow, like, and share the video with all of your friends. And hopefully we can both have a great time doing this. And hopefully you guys learn how to make this just as well as I can make it. The recipes for everything I'm making today will be posted on the screen. Also, I'll be having a full recipe of everything posted in the comments as well. And again, guys, this is my first YouTube video. So please, any comments, criticisms, please comment down below. Let me know things you'd like to see more of, things you'd like to see less of, anything I can change. I'm learning here as well, so I'm just really happy to be here with all of you. Anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of the video, and like I said before, like and subscribe. Thanks.
All right, everybody. So I have here a 4-pound whole chicken. So as you can see here, I'm just trimming off the wing tips. Oftentimes when you have them in the oven, it tends to burn, so I like to get rid of them just beforehand. Now I've made a cut along the back here on one side and then come along down the other side. You can use a knife or you can use kitchen shears. Both work just as well. You just gotta make sure you get that spine out. Now I'm just pushing down on the breast, make sure that it opens up and is nice and flat. We're just gonna lay it down on a oven rack. Now we're gonna start seasoning the chicken. I use yellow mustard here, about a tablespoon for both sides of the chicken, and then my signature BBQ Spice rub. All the ingredients are gonna be listed on the screen. We're gonna go with about a tablespoon of seasoning per side, right? And you wanna make sure that it's nice and evenly distributed. You don't want any large pockets of spice because, well, for one, it'll burn in the oven, and two, you'll get these over-seasoned pockets that just won't taste right at the end of the final product. The reason I'm using yellow mustard in this case is if you go down in the south and a lot of barbecues done, usually they'll use yellow mustard as a holder for all their spices. Obviously, if you don't like yellow mustard, you can use oil, but yellow mustard just gives it that real authentic flavor of barbecue. I have the oven set to 385 degrees Fahrenheit here. We're gonna throw the chicken in, let it go for roughly about an hour or until the internal temperature is at 160 to 170. Now we're gonna start working on the baked potatoes. I'm using russets here. We're gonna give it cut in half, season it with oil, salt, and pepper. And if any of you have gone camping before and done baked potatoes in the fire, it's basically the same thing except we're putting them in an oven this time. And again, the oven is still set to 385. It's gonna take roughly an hour to an hour and a half or until fork tender. Now this barbecue sauce is more of a Memphis style barbecue sauce. It's on the sweeter end, ketchup based. You can use any ketchup you'd like, but we're gonna go in with a cup of ketchup and a cup of brown sugar. After you finish struggling getting your cup of brown sugar into the pot, we're gonna go in with a half cup of apple cider vinegar, and then that same barbecue spice rub that I used on the chicken, we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of that as well. Once all that's incorporated, you're gonna put that on the stovetop at about a medium to medium high heat. Once the sauce begins to boil, you're gonna turn that down to a simmer, just a light bubble. And what we're looking for here is we want to get that sauce to a syrupy consistency. Taking the chicken out now, we're sitting at about 165 internal temperature. I'm gonna be switching the oven over to broil at this point because now we're gonna start basting our layers of barbecue sauce on. Every time we put it back in, The broiler is gonna crisp up that barbecue sauce, and then we're gonna take it out, add another a layer of barbecue sauce on as well, and that's just gonna constantly add flavor and layers to this chicken. As you can see, I'm trying to make sure I get every part of that chicken so we're not getting any bald spots on here. We wanna get flavor all over it. So at this point, I've already done 2 coatings of barbecue sauce. For those of you that think it's burnt, it's just caramelized. There's a lot of sugar in that barbecue sauce, and sugar naturally just goes dark like that. So again, this is gonna be my last base. We're gonna do the 3rd layer of this now, and it's just gonna go in now for one last bit of caramelization. The chicken's now finished. I've taken it out of the oven. We're gonna just put it on a plate, and we're gonna rest it for about half the time that we cooked it for. So if it took an hour, it's gonna take about half an hour to rest. The potatoes are now also finished. So we're gonna open these up. And what the process is now is scraping out the insides, making sure to not break the potato. You wanna get all that cooked potato inside the bowl, and then we're gonna start adding all of our ingredients to it. So I've got milk here, the cheddar, green onions, and bacon. And we're making sort of a mashed potato, but a little bit thicker and rougher than a normal mashed potato. Then once all that's done, we're gonna start packing all that back into the potato skins. As you can see, I'm only using half the cheddar and half the bacon into this mixture because the rest of the bacon and the rest of the cheddar is gonna go on top of the finished loaded potato, just so that when it goes back in the oven, that cheese will melt on top and it'll give a nice crust to it. So now we're gonna evenly divvy out all that filling into all the potato skins, as you can see. Try to make sure it's evenly distributed between all of them. You don't wanna have one that is very thin and then it's gonna cook faster than the other ones. You wanna make sure it's all nice and packed up. And you're gonna find that just because there's all these other ingredients in it now, there's actually more filling than there was before. You're gonna get a nice peaks on all these potatoes, and all those little rough edges get nice and crispy in the oven. You're gonna wanna put all these potatoes on a parchment-lined baking sheet, and then they're gonna go back in the oven at that magic number, 385 degrees Fahrenheit. Once those are done, you're gonna see the cheese has gotten all crispy, and since most of the ingredients in here are cooked already, you're just waiting for that exterior to get to that look that you want. Now let's get going on the breaking down of the chicken. Just sharpen my knife here. So we're gonna start off with the chicken legs. When it's spatchcocked like this, all the parts are very visible and all the joints are also visible. So it doesn't take much to cut through. So as you can see, I removed both legs first. The wings pop out off the side, so you're just gonna get in between the knuckle and the breast. And then with the breast, I've decided to take it off the bone. You can keep it on the bone and just split it right down the middle. It's honestly easier that way. But as you can see, all that juice that's coming out of that chicken, that's because we've rested it for as long as we have. This is the reason I love doing whole chicken. You get a real variety in terms of what you want. You have dark meat in the legs and white meat in the chicken breast, and it really makes sure that everyone gets what they want when they're sitting down at the table. So I've just cut the breast down a little smaller now, and I split the drumstick from the thighs. And this is the finished plate now. We're gonna put down our loaded baked potatoes. We have our chicken on the side there. And I'm just gonna finish this off with a little bit of green onion. You can use chives if you want as well. And that right there is the finished plate. I've done this family style. You guys can do this any which way you want.
All right, everybody, dinner's ready. We have our spatchcock barbecue chicken here, our double baked roast potatoes, and honestly, I can't wait to dig in. Oh, that is fantastic. Like I said before, The resting of the chicken after it's cooked, pivotal. You guys need to do it at least for half the time you cooked it for. Keeps all the juices in, make sure it's moist all the way through. And just that flavor from that spice rub, that barbecue sauce, you can't beat it. Let's go into the baked potatoes here. Yeah, that's it. You get that mashed potato filling, along with all the other ingredients that go in the bacon, the green onions, the cheddar. Just makes this wicked, wicked bite. You got a crispy potato on the outside, creamy potato on the inside, and it's just a complete package. All right, everybody, that was my barbecue spatchcock chicken and double baked potatoes. Comment below for any things you guys would like to see in the future. If you guys enjoyed this content, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my weekly videos. See y'all next week.